You are now listening to one of the hottest podcasts out, the Hood Geniuses Podcast, with host Ms. 100, Lady T, and Miss Queen 215.
This is Ms. 100.
And this is Lady T.
What's good out there? Lady T then came back from vacation, took a nice vacation to Vegas. What's up? You out there? You know, you know what I'm saying? You was out there having a good old time out there in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? What's up? You was out there, you know, holding the podcast down. What was going on?
I'm really trying to still recuperate myself, really, honestly. It was a real nice experience. First time going out there to Vegas. Met some real nice people out there from all over. You know, now I got the bug. I got the itch now. I just want to get on the plane and just go everywhere now, you know? But, yeah, I had a nice time. No, I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that now, you know. I'm never going to front, you know, born and raised where I'm from, you know, that's where it's at, because we was getting mad love out there, you know, because people was noticing our different swag, as they say it out there. They was like, oh, hold up, where you from? We was like, North Philly. They was like, we love y'all. Okay, all right, okay. So we loved. We not negatively stereotyped everywhere. You know, it's how you carry yourself. It's not from you where you from. It's how you carry yourself. You know, and we was carrying ourselves, you know, like ladies. Yeah. You know, so
yeah.
Down the earth.
You know, Philly get love everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? Some real shit. But yeah. Today's episode, we got guests. Yeah, we gonna interview. You know, he's in the music industry. He goes by the name of DreBeatz. A young, up and coming, hot producer. My man told me he's producing since the age of 9. You know what I mean? That's outstanding. Dude, like I told you earlier, like a child fucking prodigy or something. That shit crazy. 9 years old making beats. You know, before the show started, he let me hear some beats that he made when he was like, he was like 14, 12. I'm like, damn. I mean, not making beats for like nobodies. I mean, he been making beats for some well-known people that got buzz in the city. You were saying one of your biggest beats was for Trina and shit, right? Yeah, that's good shit, yo. But we gonna get into the interview in a few. We just gonna, you know, do like we do, cover some current events that happened throughout the week so far. And Lady T, you gonna lead us off on this one.
Okay, so the first one that caught my eye was these young African American youths that were aged between 12 and 14 that were held at gunpoint for no reason. They were outside playing a little ball, and they were stereotyped and saying that they was at the wrong place at the wrong time, where a fight had occurred or broke out, and the cops just rolled up on them while they was, you know, playing outside at gunpoint and told them to get on the ground. Okay, the problem with that is, you know, they was playing basketball. They didn't. How could you fit the stereotype of just being into an altercation with your clothes being attacked and you playing ball? Just, you know, having a good time. Just trying to live your youth. So I don't understand how you can stereotype them as being in maybe in an altercation maybe 5-10 minutes ago, and they were just out there just playing ball, just having a good time. At gunpoint, though? At gunpoint?
Yo, you know what? Because they black. That's right. It comes down to color. They black. And it's crazy how you have grown men in a cop uniform aiming weapons at children. Harmless children with no weapons. That shit is all because you black. I went through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you black, you got it hard. Point blank. Coming up from out of the womb, yo. If you black, you got it hard. Point. Like, I don't give a fuck. You don't have to be in the hood. You can be in the county somewhere. Yo, you gonna get them guns aimed at you somehow. You know what I'm saying? I came up with that. You know what I mean? Being accused of robbing somebody and I ain't got no weapon on me, held for an hour, all types of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what you go through when you come up in the hood. Well, that's what I went through. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
And the most touching part is when the mothers and the fathers, because the kids were actually held until the parents came, which I don't understand. Seeing the mothers crying, Actually, one of the young guys that was actually held at gunpoint, he was on the ground. He was crying, saying he don't want to die. You know, I broke out in tears. I said, damn, that could be my son out there on the ground. Innocent. You know, scared for his life. Because you see every day on TV, you know, young African men being gunned down for no damn reason. You know, it was just really sad. And then the damn cops was out there trying to have the parents understand, well, we just doing our job, and we thought, we assumed, we assumed, okay? Because that's what they did. And it was just really heartbreaking to see them young guys go through that, because every young African American out here is not negative. They're not bad. You know, it's a damn shame that we all cropped up together in one pot. So.
Yeah. You know, also, what was interesting about that story, I did read up about that. The cop had told the parents that they had got a call saying something about in the area, or somebody called saying that those kids was passing a gun around. Now, you know that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's some bullshit that they told the parents. They ain't passing no gun around.
Well,
them cops felt like being dickheads.
Yeah, first it was a fight. It was an altercation. It was a fight. But then it led up to now a damn gun being passed around. So that was going to be justified for if one of them moved, you could have shot him.
Yep.
And that's when it been the time to tear this motherfucker up.
Yeah.
Real rap. From Philadelphia all the way to wherever the fuck they was at, it would have been time to tear shit up. No marching, no peace bullshit. Fuck that.
Yeah. You know, some people always like to say that I'm some type of conspiracist theorist or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But last year, when the cops was like all around the country killing our people, you ain't gonna tell me like that shit wasn't like some type of, you know, designed that way to create a race war. You know what I'm saying? Once you create that race war, here come them FEMA trucks and tanks, National Guard. Our hood is over. Our neighborhoods is done. You know what I'm saying? Once that happened. And it's like, that's how I see it. It's like they want a civil war, you know, between the races and the you know, and the police and stuff like that, so they can come in and just straight up fuck us all, and it's martial law forever. You know what I'm saying? They want that kind of shit, yo. But yo, enough of this. You know what I mean? We're going to the next story.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Oprah Winfrey, she actually did a documentary on Henrietta Lacks. She was a black woman that I'm gonna make it blunt, they experimented on, and because of her cells, they was able to find a lot of cures. And she never really got recognized because she was like a guinea pig, which they did on a lot of us back in the day. Thank God her family actually was able to get recognition and paid for that. But it's a damn shame that for so long she was hidden under the rocks. You know, we have so much history. You know, we've started and founded so many things out here in the world, and it was stolen from us because we wasn't educated and we didn't know how to really how can I say it? Help me out here. How to, I guess, claim it ourselves. You know, because we so generous, heart,
yeah, well,
warming. You know, naturally,
yeah, yo, we giving people at heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Point blank. You know what I'm saying? We just giving people. I mean, like you said, we always gotta end up taking it back into slavery shit. But if you know the history, you know, some of our African kings and shit like that sold people into slavery. But that shit was on some old, they was tricked into that shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them was tricked in that shit. It's like, oh, take this gunpowder, you know. You know what I mean? Let us borrow some of your people. We'll bring them back. You know, you know, that shit turned into profit, you know, for those Europeans. But you know what I'm saying. Right.
So I just want everybody out there, if you can, it's on HBO. Tune into The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. It aired on April 22nd. So I'm quite sure they'd be showing, you know, reruns. So just try to catch it if you can. You know, Black History Month is just not in February. 28 days is not enough to tell our history.
Nah, it should be every day. You know what I mean? If you know, pick up the Google and do some reading. That's all. You know what I mean? What's the next story?
Okay. So, I was intrigued by Myron Rolle. He went from the NFL to being a neurosurgeon. This is actually his last year in school. So I just want to shout him out for actually being, an all-around player. Meaning that, he went into the NFL. Okay, that was his sport. That was his love. But he found something else. He didn't just stick with that. And honestly, when you're in the NFL, you're going to need a damn neurosurgeon messing around with that sport. So he could be he's going to be a great attribute to a lot of people.
Yeah, your brain be all fucked up by your fifth year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't give a shit. They cut your ass and you punch drunk. You know what I'm saying? You be depressed, ready to kill yourself. So many NFL players then, committed suicide.
Yeah. Because
of the brain injuries that they have after playing football. All them concussions is not healthy for the body. You know what I mean? You got another story you want to touch on?
Oh yeah. Let me see here. Oh, this is like a small little piece that observing on the internet. They found a device that can detect breast cancer without using radiation. Okay, and it's actually cheaper. This is for the women out here that, get your annual mammograms once you reach a certain age so they can detect breast cancer. It's a little piece that they just swerve around your breast and you don't have to get it smashed until you almost pass out. And there's no radiation used.
Yeah, that's when technology is at its best. Technology has, it's like the curse and the gift, you know what I mean? Because with technology, that kind of technology benefits millions of people, and that's definitely needed for, helping with women, to stop them from getting breast cancer and stuff like that. That's good. That's real good shit. You got any more stories?
Of course. How can I forget? Last but not least, I want to shout out David Banner. David Banner was on Breakfast Club. Yeah. And I couldn't do anything. I just was stuck. It was a 56-minute interview and I was stuck. Okay. When that man speaks, he speaks. Okay. He grabs your attention. He grabs everything. And if he doesn't, there's something wrong with you. He has an album coming out on May the 19th. If I'm not mistaken. And it's actually Malcolm X's birthday. So that's awesome to bring out what he's bringing out, which is called
The God Box. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He released a single about almost 2 years ago that was hot. And he was spitting that knowledge. He actually put some visuals to it too. And yeah, you should check that out. I'm gonna send you that YouTube to that video that he released 2 years ago to the song, because it was crazy how he flipped it with, because of everything that was going on with the police killing our peoples and all that. He flipped it in that video. It was real thorough how he put it together.
I like that he stated that it took him 3 years to actually bring this album out. He said because he had to go around and teach the youth, teach people about what he was bringing out. And that's the hell of an artist. When you go around first to teach people so what they're about to hear, so they can be aware, so they won't be ignorant to it, so they would know what's going on. Man, he all hands down to him, like, seriously. He said he was going to different cities and different little counties where you would least suspect to educate the ones that wasn't aware of who they are. And once you find out who you are, you appreciate it.
You know what? That was smart on his part too, because also he's still promoting the album. The more that people are actually talking about him, saying his name, he's generating a buzz for the album and, for his whole brand, because he has a brand too. He's selling clothing line. I mean, he's selling like I think sweatshirts and t-shirts or something like that, which is good. And I didn't watch the whole interview yet. I think I was on at the 20-minute mark or something like that. And I like the fact that he was talking about when you have rappers that's coming with some conscious stuff, that they tend to make corny music. And that was a good point he was making. Basically, like he said, as an artist, it's the artist's job to make music that move people, move